Hello, I'm Brooks,
I'm Joe,
and this is another episode of Cantina Reviews.
Today we're talking about Avengers Infinity War.
I thought we were talking about the $10 Walmart gauntlet.
No.
So I think it's pretty well made. No, so last night, because this will go up today, I assume.
Yes.
We saw Avengers Infinity Wars.
Yes, we did.
We did see that.
A movie that we had reservations about.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that should work.
Mm-hmm.
There's 50 characters.
Mm-hmm.
They all have to be on screen. They all have to have their moment.
But at the same time, make a compelling plot line that's not jumping from character to character to character.
Right, exactly. And somehow, I think they pulled it off almost perfectly.
Yeah,
if
I
not
thought
perfect.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Honestly, this, I like the Marvel movies a lot,
mm-hmm.
but I just felt like this made them all so worth it.
Yeah.
It's like the build-up paid off in the best way,
mm-hmm.
somehow.
Yeah, I just thought it wasn't gonna work that well just because Disney has just divided themselves so much.
Right.
So I was like, oh, it's just gonna be a standard movie, because at this point I feel like they're just focused with Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, all that stuff, just pushing movies out.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, well, they're not going to put that much time into it or review into it or whatever. But yeah, I would say that's easily one of my favorite. I would say top 3 or top 5 easily.
Yeah.
Just because it was so different than I thought it was going to be, and it worked so much better than I thought it was.
I saw a lot of people because we didn't see it till Saturday. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people being it's the best Marvel movie. It's number 1, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
it's the new one. People always say that, but literally,
yeah,
I thought it's one of the best, if not the best. Mm-hmm. It works so well. You mentioned you were afraid it's going to be jumping from character to character to character. Mm-hmm. I was very afraid about that. Yeah. But what I like what they do, and we'll get right into spoilers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What I like that they do is everyone's kind of split into factions.
Mm-hmm.
And there's multiple storylines going on, which again is usually a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But especially when you have 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
They'll stick with a crew for 20 minutes
mm-hmm.
before going on to the next.
Right.
So a whole chunk of the story unfolds,
mm-hmm.
and then you jump onto the next one. It was kind of episodic in a way for a while.
Right. Which I thought was way better than kind of doing what Star Wars did in Last Jedi, where it's okay, we're here, we're here, we're here, we're here, we're back here, we're here, we're here, we're here, we're back here, you know what I mean? Whereas this one, it was I feel even though they were split up, it wasn't there was a lot happening.
Right.
So I feel with Star Wars, when we went to these different places, there was so much happening.
Yeah.
Then you go right to the next thing.
Yeah.
With this one, it's Thor's trying to get a new weapon, and Iron Man, Spider-Man, and all them are waiting for Thanos to show up, and Captain America, and then we're preparing to fight whoever.
Yeah.
It's not we're trying to find this guy, then escaped, and we're trying to get out of here, we're trying to train here, we're trying to do this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was pretty, once what were going to be the main parts were established,
mm-hmm.
it was and even before then wasn't bad either with the splitting up.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it would show a nice chunk of time before moving on. And then even then, the Guardians at first were on their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they meet up was so organic.
Mm-hmm.
It just worked really well. The Guardians on one side and Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange,
mm-hmm.
they meet up because they're where they were going leads them to the same place.
Right.
And it just happened very naturally. It wasn't
mm-hmm.
we have to get everyone together right now. We didn't even get everyone together in this movie.
Yeah, no.
So I would imagine the next one you're gonna get that moment where there's a million superheroes, but I think for the purposes of this as its own movie,
mm-hmm.
that would have just been way too much. This allowed for everyone to have a cool moment,
mm-hmm.
at least, if not multiple.
Yeah. What I feel they could do is do it to where the next one, which I feel is a good thing that they got rid of some characters.
Yeah.
Because now probably the ones that are going to be left are going to be newer ones that we're introduced to in the next year or so.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to be nice is now that they've cut down on who needs to have screen time in the next one, the newer characters will have their screen time, and then when everybody comes back, it'll feel not rushed or too many people or anything like that.
Right.
So it'll be a nice paced
thing. Again, it was another smart move. this ends on a total cliffhanger. As if you're watching this at this point, you should know. But like half the Avengers get wiped out.
Yeah.
Like Thanos, like he achieves his goal. Like there were like some people guessing he might not even get all the stones in this one, and they'll drag that out. Gets all the stones. He kicks everyone's ass. Like realistically, like they don't even like they punch him like once.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he gets hurt like once.
Yeah.
And then they tie him down for a second, but like he achieves his goal completely. And half the Avengers are wiped out. So, and yeah, what you're left with is like, a few stray people like Nebula and like people like that. But for the most part, you just have the core Avengers again.
Yeah.
So I think what's interesting is, and now they've teased Captain Marvel, and we'll get her solo movie, but that takes place in the past anyway. Kind of have like your core Avengers again. So it's kind of like it's going to end where it began.
Right.
Which is kind of
cool to see.
And like, Iron Man and Captain America haven't made amends yet, so like that'll play into it, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
I think
so much to talk about. Like I couldn't fall asleep last night.
Yeah.
Because I was like thinking about so many things.
Alien dreams. Yeah, no, I thought it was like just great all around, and like everything like some people are going to be like, oh, well, what did this mean? Well, how can you infer that about the next one? And I feel like because the movie did such a good job of, like, showing you, like, explaining things, but also bringing things up that you can draw the conclusion to.
I feel like I was trying to, like, poke holes into it, and I saw some, like, complaining on Twitter, of course. Like, but, like, I feel like it's airtight.
Yeah.
Because even, like, people were like, well, why would Doctor Strange give up the stone? And like he said he wouldn't sacrifice the stone for them, but that he does. But he saw into the future. Yeah. And he saw the one way they win. So like realistically,
so like maybe he gave him that.
And like when he does it, and Tony's like, why would you do that? And he's like, this is the end game. And like so like we know there's a plan.
Yeah.
And like he saw into the future, and even like stuff that I think that they did really well. Like we'll talk about Thanos because. Going into this, it's like, they've teased this guy for like 8 years or something, or 6 years, and like, I never cared.
Yeah.
And like, I just thought he was going to be like, big CGI guy, comes to do bad things. And think of like a movie that just did this was Justice League. Yeah. And they did it horribly.
Oh, yeah.
But what's cool is, like we were talking about, they've been building this universe for so long that like, all these characters are well established.
Exactly.
So you have room to come in, and now you give the villain a story arc instead of everyone else.
Right, because they already all have it.
And it makes it like so cool. And what's interesting about him, what they've been doing lately that I like, is that you give a villain with a motivation that kind of makes sense, but the way they're doing it is crazy. Yeah. So like his whole thing is that to save humanity, you wipe out half of it. Right. Because if you have too much population, it's going to deplete all the resources, and everyone's going to die anyway. Exactly. And that's what happened on his planet. So, like, it's kind of like utilitarian, like the greater whole or the smaller.
Yeah, sacrifice however many.
But he's a psycho.
Yeah.
So, what's cool is he's so convinced that he's right. When I saw some of the Twitter complaining, people were like, and now this happens often in these kind of movies, where for some reason the villain just won't kill the hero when they have an opportunity to. They'll get distracted or they'll do something else. Right. But it makes sense for Thanos. And when I thought about it, like, there was a line in one of the commercials where he's like, who knew balancing the universe would be this fun? They cut that out of the movie. And I'm glad they cut it out of the movie because it makes everything make sense. Because, like, why wouldn't he just kill Iron Man anyway? Or, like, why did he agree to that bargain with Strange, the stone for Iron Man's life? Yeah. Because his ideology is that leave it up to fate who dies. Like, half are gonna die. But as he explained, it's arbitrary. Yeah. The rich, the poor, the weak, the strong, half are gonna die. So it makes everything make sense. Like, that plot hole is tight.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's why he didn't kill them. Because he doesn't really care. Like, he's not really trying to kill them. Yeah, he wants to do his... Let fate decide.
Yeah, so like fulfill his destiny.
If he doesn't have to kill Iron Man to get what he wants, he won't because it's up to the fates to decide if he's going to die. Exactly. Which I think is so like well done.
I just liked how they gave him like an actual like reason, not just like, I'm
bad.
Yeah, I'm bad. Oh, he's gonna destroy the universe. He's gonna kill all of us. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the human race, or yeah, exactly.
The mother commands the cubes.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't do something like that. Like, they were like, they actually gave him like a legitimate reason.
He's got like a real goal.
Where, like, yeah, he's a psycho, but you can see what he's saying. It's not like, oh no, that dude's just a nut job.
Right.
It's like, no, like, he's trying in his own messed up way, like, he's trying to save people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's interesting that, like, they gave him a very good, like, plot reason.
Well, and then, like, you see that, like, he believes this stuff because of the whole scene with Gamora.
Right.
So, like, he gets to go to get the Soul Stone, and you have to sacrifice something you love to get the... Like, you sacrifice your soul, essentially, for the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
And, like, Gamora's like, oh, good, like, you don't love anything.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get it. But he turns around and he's crying, and he's going to kill his daughter now. But it shows that he actually loves her in some sick, crazy way.
Yeah.
But, like, it just added so much more dimension. It's like, this guy, like, he'll do anything.
Yeah.
Like, he'll kill anyone.
Yeah.
And, like, that's when, like, you actually feel the tension, and you're afraid.
Yeah.
Like, I remember at one point, he got one of the stones and did some kind of, rah! And I was like, everyone's gonna die!
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, when he got the final one?
Yeah, and I was like, no!
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I thought he was a great villain.
Yeah.
And he had, like, a good, like, you know, development, if you will, throughout the movie. Just because, it wasn't like, oh, here's the big bad villain.
Yeah,
it's
he's
like,
bad and mean.
Yeah, it's like he has an actual story. He actually has feelings. Like,
right.
His ideology, like, makes sense. His reasoning makes sense. It's like he's going about it.
Very wrong way.
Yeah. But like, it makes sense what he's saying. Like, we're just going to overpopulate and exhaust all of our resources, so people are going to die anyway.
And, it's coming from the stance of that happened on his planet.
Exactly.
And he was like, I was right. No one listened to me. And look at what happened to my planet.
Right.
This is what's going to happen to the universe if I don't do this. So he's like extremely motivated.
Yeah.
And that makes him one of the like scariest villains in this franchise.
Yeah.
Because he'll stop at nothing, obviously. And they give you reasons to believe, even if Gamora comes back, I think it's effective. Yeah. Because like it gives you a reason to believe for the rest of the movie, like that he will stop at nothing.
Yeah, he did kill his daughter. Even though she's back.
She'll come back probably. And like, yes, like half of them die at the end, but like we've obvious reason to know that they'll come back.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Spider-Man 2, Black Panther 2, they're all coming. But I mean, I just think it worked. Like, even if you realize that, like, yeah, they're gonna come back. When you're in that moment and everyone's dying, I think the saddest one was Peter Parker.
Oh yeah,
because it was just like you've established this relationship, this father-son relationship between Tony and Peter,
right?
And he's hugging him, and he's like, "I don't want to go. I don't want to die. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. This is awful for a 10-year-old.
This kid is realizing he's dying.
Yeah, exactly. He realizes he's not going to be there.
And Tom Holland plays a scared little child very well.
Yeah,
he did, like in Homecoming when he was trapped beneath the building, it was like heart-wrenching. Because his acting's really good. And yeah, the movie ends. The movie ends with the villain, staring into the sunset. Yeah. He did his job.
Exactly. Yeah,
he smile on his face. Yeah. Which is bold.
So, what are the odds that, like, he's like, all right, mission accomplished. The Avengers show up, and he's like, here's the gauntlet. Here you go.
So that might be part of it. So, like, does it not work now? Because it got all crushed and messed up. So, like, now, does he not have the gauntlet?
Well, no, because when it got crushed, that's when he did the thing. Like, once Thor had electrocuted it or whatever.
No, that happened after he snapped.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he did it and then, before.
After he snapped, it, like, kind of shorted out, whatever. And it got all, like, crumpled up.
So, yeah, maybe he, like, used it and then that was it because, like, Thor's axe or something.
Or it, like, doesn't quite work the way he thought.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, because, like, part of, like, the comic thing is that, like, there's, like, a soul world that, like, you get, like, trapped in the Soul Stone, essentially, I think is what they're going for.
Okay. So everybody is somewhere.
So at least the people that died after he snapped, the ones before that may be permanent, but, like, I find it hard to believe Guardians of the Galaxy 3 doesn't have Gamora in it.
Yeah. Well, probably what they'll do is just, do some kind of time stone thing or like
reverse it.
Yeah, but like they all know how to stop him somehow,
right.
so they just reverse it, stop him, and then it just.
Well, yeah, like I'm wondering, like there's so many places you can go. Another thing that's so great about this as like an effective part one. I feel like part ones usually feel incomplete. They suck. You just want the next one, and it's like. This one has left me so excited for the next one. Because I'm like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
They lost and they didn't even do anything.
Right, yeah. It's not like it just ended and you're like, oh, well, this is what's probably going to... Like, yeah, it's a cliffhanger, but they're probably just going to do this. Right. Where it's like this one, it's like, it was a complete movie. Right. But now, going in, like, all right, how are they going to get everybody back?
It's just a complete movie where the villain won.
Yeah.
But there's also no hint of where it's going.
Yeah, at all.
Like, I look at like Batman v Superman, for example, where like Superman's dead, but at the end they show like the dirt on his coffin rise. So it's like, oh, he's coming back. They didn't do anything here.
Yeah,
like, it ends on a very solemn. Thanos won. He's sitting on his chair, smiling in the sunset. Cut the credits. Very solemn music.
Exactly.
They could go so many places. It would be interesting if it's like a Harry Potter time turner type situation where they like can go back and like fix steps they did wrong. Oh yeah. I honestly don't know what it's gonna be like.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite the crazy ride, I think. Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see all the new characters and probably Ant-Man and Hawkeye come back.
Yeah, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, we'll have Captain Marvel.
Probably Wasp will be in there.
Yeah. Again, like the original crew is back together.
Yeah,
presumably
band's back together.
Yeah, I thought the humor was great in this movie.
Yeah, it was well balanced.
Yeah,
it wasn't like Ragnarok where it was just all the time until the end. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely good. Thank God they gave Thor his eye back. So I was gonna be pissed if he had to have an eye patch the entire fucking time.
I really liked Thor in this movie. He's not usually one of like my favorites. I liked him, but like I liked him a lot in this movie because it was like a good balance again, like between really really funny Thor in Ragnarok and like too serious Thor. So kind of right in the middle.
I thought it focused on him a lot.
It did, yeah.
Which I thought was good because every other movie has been like about Captain America with Iron Man. This one I thought was like Thor with Iron Man.
Yeah, Thor got like a nice role in this movie, and he got a great moment, like when when having the battle in Wakanda, and he shows up with the axe. Yeah, like, that was so cool.
Yeah,
it was
great.
This is awesome.
Yeah, like I feel like for me, like, but it's like I had the idea of Thor in my head, and Ragnarok ruined it. Yeah, and I was like, great, this is Thor now. But I thought like with Avengers, they definitely like redeemed him in my mind. I'm like, thank God. Right. Because I was like, I didn't want him to be the comedic relief 24/7.
Yeah, they struck a nice balance of where he was. He had like funny moments, but it was like he's funny because he's so serious and like doesn't care.
Which was his original type of comedy. Like in the first Thor, like that was him. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, especially with like the Hulk coming back and not being on the world for a while, like things are new, so it's gonna be funny for him. And like you have Guardians of the Galaxy, like you don't need Thor to be like the comedy expert. You know what I mean? Right. Because you have all these other.
Drax was probably the funniest in the movie.
He was.
Drax was really funny.
I love that one. Just all the Guardians stuff was.
They were all I think I was a little nervous about them being in the hands of someone else because like James Gunn did both of those movies, so I was like, but I think they wrote them right.
Yeah,
they
did
them
right.
Well. Yeah.
Like, I didn't like the axe. I liked the idea of the axe.
I liked the axe.
I just felt like it didn't look cool.
I thought it looked pretty cool.
Like, it looked like just like a big, it looked like a baby rattle or something.
I liked how big it was. And I liked that Groot made it.
Yeah. I like how Groot's in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, we could have just made like a normal size weapon for him. Yeah. I mean, look how big the hammer is. We could just make a normal axe and just have him go crazy with it. Instead, it's like a lightning rod.
Yeah. I think they've done such a good job with Black Panther that like when you see him on screen, you're like, yeah, it's the king. Like you get like pumped up.
It's funny when Hulk goes to bow, and he's like, we don't do that here. And then what's his name? War Machine.
Yeah.
He's just like, that was a good part.
That was good. Yeah, it's great to see like. I mean, like we said, like we were looking forward to just seeing characters interact with each other, and that is like so satisfying.
Yeah, and yeah, I thought it was good, but like. Yeah, that is true. You didn't see Iron Man and Captain America meet back up.
Right.
It's like, cool to see them interact with each other and everything like that, and like some of them get back together, like Hulk's back with like, the Earth Avengers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool to see that. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens when Iron Man and Captain America meet back up in the next one.
Yeah, because pretty much Iron Man is now left with just Nebula up in space somewhere.
Yeah.
He'll have to make his way back.
How do they get back?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, some ship or something.
What if they destroy the gauntlet and put all the stones in like other things?
Oh, they could, yeah.
They want a Captain America's shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, going off the axe thing. Like, I feel like Captain America's shield is his shield.
Yeah.
And I don't know if... Like they were cool, his little two shield, blue, black things.
I think Tony has his shield.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, so he'll probably just give it to him in the next one? Okay. Yeah. Get this mana shield. I was like, is this what we're doing?
Yeah.
I like the beard comment from Thor.
That was funny.
So maybe we'll have real Captain America.
You stole my beard. Yeah. He'll shave.
Yeah, maybe he'll shave.
Yeah.
Maybe because we're revisiting the old Avengers. Yeah. Like, it's going to be the originals. Like, yeah, maybe they all, like, revert back. Thor grows his hair out.
Yeah.
Or he does, like, one of the modern-day swoop things. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is one, like... I was like, I hope it's not another Marvel where it's like, I liked it, but on to the next one.
Right.
But this is kind of like that, but in such a better way, because it's like, I cannot wait to see what happens next.
Right, like, it was a part one, but it's not like where you feel like it's a part one of a movie.
Right, that you got stiffed. You know?
Right, like, Hunger Games, Maze Runner... What's another one of those types of movies?
Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Yeah.
Was, like that good.
Where you go in, you watch it, and you're like, well... That was part one. You know what I mean?
I watched half a movie.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like, this one was like, yeah, it's part one, but it was a full movie.
Yeah.
You know, like, you got to the end. Mm-hmm. And there was a good cliffhanger to go to part two, but it wasn't like you were left
unsatisfied.
Right. So it's like, he did it, he accomplished his mission, now what, though?
Right,
but that's what you're left with. Not like now they gotta go save everyone. It's like, no, it's like, well, now what do they do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And it's like... It ends on like a pretty like somber note, and it's like I think who says it? Does Peter Quill say it to Tony where he's like, "Did we just lose?"
Oh yeah,
you know, and it's like, yeah,
yeah, we did.
Like they didn't have anything on Thanos, and like that was good because like they've been establishing this guy for years, or like leading up to this guy for years.
Right.
Like it only made sense that he would be
that he would
tough.
Yeah, and accomplish the mission.
Yeah. Because
if he didn't, it would just be, you'd be left unsatisfied. It's like, oh, Thanos didn't do it. We have to wait for the next one.
Right.
So yeah, I think like it was good to see like a full movie.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, he got 4 of the stones. He was gonna get the next 2 next. You know?
Yeah. Exactly. It's like he got all of them and he did it. But now what?
Right.
Yeah. It's like I feel like movies nowadays where there's multiples, like you go in, you watch, and you're like, well, that was a good part 1, 2, or 3. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas this one, like, was a full movie. Yeah. I think that's the one reason why I like it so much, is because it was a little bit darker, the comedy was well balanced, you got to see all your characters, but also because you didn't feel unsatisfied. Yeah. Whereas I feel like some movies today, like you see, oh, here's part 1, oh, here's part 2, here's part 3.
I was, like, afraid that at any moment it would just end.
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
Which I thought it was going to just end a few times.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thank God it didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we beat that one to death.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be talking about it much more.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
especially with the advent of, Deadpool coming around, Ant-Man coming around.
Solo.
Yeah,
we've been doing a lot of Marvel stuff. We're going to get back into the Star Wars relatively soon.
Yeah, as if you all missed it. Check out all of our stuff on the page. We've been doing podcasts and things.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe.
Ooh. So once again, I'm Brooks.
I'm Joe.
And this has been another episode of Cantina Reviews.